So, starring in the new upcoming thriller Persona, and you're not just starring in it, you're definitely wearing a lot of hats. We are very, very honored to have Shanti Lowry here to discuss the film as well as, some other upcoming projects. Just came out on December 3rd, and, tell us just a little bit about the film. You're kind of rolling it and how you got into it, actually.
The movie was sent to me by a writer that I love, and so of course I'm going to take a look at it. And I normally would just pass it on to a producer that I know and say, I'd be attached to it if it goes somewhere.
Okay.
But reading this script, the first about 20 pages are about a woman waking up on the floor of a disgusting house, clearly a house of horrors,
Mhm.
actual horrors, and she has a lot of injuries, a really bad gash on her head that might explain why she doesn't have a memory of any of it, why she's there, how she got there, how to get out. And it just captivated me for so many reasons. The fact that we were slowly discovering her situation with her, I loved that. I loved the way it was written. I loved that she was smart. She tried the things that we would try. It wasn't written just as, like she just doesn't know what to do, so she sits down and gives up.
Mhm.
Um, the other thing I loved is it's two women who are starring in this, and the one thing I will give away is this is a serial killer kind of movie,
Mhm.
and the difference is this is not about him and his psyche and what makes him do what, or the FBI agent that's trying to solve it. It's about the women. It's
Yeah.
about what they're going through and their fears. And I really gravitated to that because as a woman of color, I'm very aware of the fact that if I go missing, like there's a really good chance that someone's not out there looking for me. And
Yeah.
so if I did wake up in that house, I would do everything she did to try and get out. And then that would sink in that, oh my gosh, I'm really stuck here and it's on me. It's on me to get out. That it was like fireworks for me. It just felt like something that needed to be made. We all love to watch a scary movie. Well, we don't
Sure.
all. I love to watch
Yeah.
a scary movie. I like to watch a thriller and a mystery, but to layer those interesting, intricate, ideas in there, it just really appealed to me.
Yeah, and I mean, you could definitely see that in the trailer, which I thought was shot very well. Growing up, I actually wanted to shoot movie trailers when I was a kid, and still, who knows, one day. But I think you
Yeah.
definitely get that across in the trailer. And as I mentioned before, you wore a lot of hats on this. Executive producer, you helped with the casting, costume design. You were working with the writers, and you also helped with the final cut of the scripts, as well as prep and post director. I mean, how do you find the time to do all that?
You make it. I also had a 1 year old daughter at the time,
Yeah.
and I knew I wanted to do it. I knew it could be done with a lot of planning and preparation. I knew that I would surround myself with an incredible team. When you say I had a hand in these things, it's only because as indie filmmakers, every department's just a little bit
Sure.
smaller. And as a producer, you do have a hand in hiring everybody and understanding why you're putting these pieces together and what they're going to add. And so for me, it was understanding every department and understanding what they needed and how I could help so we could trim things down and keep things tight. And I've worked with all of these people before. And so it actually ended up being a quick, time saver
Yeah.
between production and producers and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I know it's exciting to not just star in it, but to also wear these hats too. And that was actually a good segue to my next question is have you worked with Mike in the past and what was that like working with Mike?
I had never worked with Mike, and it was a dream.
Yeah.
I was a music video dancer, and actress when I was young, and I saw how incredible these directors are. And I didn't realize until I got into film that they're sort of considered like a different entity than film directors. And I really didn't understand that because to me, music video directors, they get to play with all the cool tricks and techniques. They get to try everything because the music video can't be stale. It can't just point and shoot. You got to know what you're doing. You got to find zooms. You got to find angles. You have to make everything look appealing too, even if it's supposed to be a rat and cockroaches. Jennifer Lopez doesn't want to look ugly just because she's surrounded by rats, right?
Sure.
So to me, they have these incredible tricks that film directors don't always know how to do. They haven't had the opportunity.
Mhm.
So for me, reading the script, it was important to not make audiences feel confined in that house with us,
Yeah.
that it was like they were watching from a safe distance and
Uh-huh.
that things were still beautiful, even though they were horrible. So that was like music video director. That's what it screamed to me. And so I called a friend and said, who's the best director that you've worked with on music videos?
Yeah.
And hands down, it was Mike. And again, I knew immediately when I talked to him that he got it
Yeah.
because I knew he could do the trick. But knowing that he got the emotional layers of each character, he only wanted to talk emotion and character development. And so I knew he understood. And he brought with him Anthony Kimata, who's just the best DP I've ever worked with. Really, really talented duo.
Nice. And I mean, that's something I'm looking forward to too, because as I mentioned before with the trailer, it definitely gave me some vibes of almost kind of like Last House on the Left meets Saw a little bit.
Yes,
And, I want to be able to see that in the story, and I can't wait. I know it just released, I believe, last week on December 3rd.
that's
So how
right.
exciting has it been? Like, what's been the kind of reaction from friends and family and things like that?
It's been overwhelmingly amazing. And that's a scary thing because when you put yourself out there, you
Sure.
don't know what people will say. I am so proud of this product. I'm proud of the way that we made it. I hired 50% women and 75% people of color behind the scenes.
Wow.
But I'm also like massively proud of what we made. Mike and I talk about it all the time. Like, we can't stop watching it, it's just entertaining to us. And I think that alone says we did what we set out to do because you have to make movies that you like. That's
Yeah.
all you can do. You can't, know what other people will like. So I'm so proud of it, and to know that people now get to see it is a thrill. And also knowing that they get out of it sort of what we wanted them to, that
Sure.
sense of hope and resilience out of this very dark story. I'm really grateful for it.
That's awesome. And I mean, I think it's just incredible the fact that you had a lot of women on staff as well as people of color too. I'm Puerto Rican. My daughter is an aspiring film writer and she can't wait to break into the industry. So stuff like this is moving and important to her. So I applaud you for doing that, and taking that chance too. That's just fantastic for all of us. We're all pulling for you here.
Thank you. I hope that was why I did it, honestly, and that's why I hired who I hired. I wanted the story to matter in a bigger way than just a good movie.
Good, good, good. So I was trying to pull up my question here. Luckily, I have my questions over here as well, so I don't want to mess around with that too much. You mentioned earlier that you are a fan of horrors and thrillers, and this is a pop culture podcast. What are, just some of your favorites, that, whether back in the day or even recent?
What Lies Beneath stands out to me, because it was just, you take out the horror element, it's just like a great freaking movie.
Yeah.
Great acting, great dialogue. It's everything. It's all of the amazing things that you love. You're on the edge of your seat. You want to know. It doesn't disappoint. That's one that I will always uh, gravitate to. And the other is Sixth Sense, which I know is not, groundbreaking to say because everybody loves it, but oh my gosh, that's amazing storytelling. And again, beautiful filmmaking.
It's true. It's true. And
Yeah.
whoever says that they figured out Sixth Sense the first time they saw it, I'm still like, no, you did not. So
Thank you. No, you did not. You might have had like some questions, but you didn't know what was going on. Yeah.
exactly. And those are two great ones too. And it's funny that you mentioned What Lies Beneath, because that's one that's honestly been on my mind for about the last month. And that's Harrison. Is it Harrison Ford with
And Michelle
Michelle
Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer? Yes. So
Yeah.
that's one I gotta pop back in. And with the holiday season here, and I want to make sure I'm saying this right. Alora, is that your daughter's name?
Yes. Yes,
Perfect,
that is.
perfect. Getting ready to, I know you said, I think she's getting ready to be two, right? Or has turned two?
She's turned two. She'll be three in February, actually.
Wow,
I
that's
know.
awesome. Awesome. So what are the plans this Christmas for you and the fam?
Oh my gosh. I can be a bit of a Scrooge sometimes at Christmas. I grew up very poor, and Christmas was a time of hardship for us. And so, it's not that I'm a Scrooge per se, but it's just like I don't need anything. We don't need excess. Like, why are we doing all that? I can get a little bit like that. And this year I'm finding I'm not like that at all. My daughter is overjoyed with every little tradition, and it's really rubbing off on me. So we're doing all of it. If you hate Christmas, don't come around me because we're doing Christmas stuff every day. She saw Santa at Macy's in New York,
Awesome.
which blew her mind.
Mhm.
And yeah, we're going to go drive around to see lights tonight, and we're going to go do this or that, just all of it.
Oh,
She loves it.
that's great. Is there one tradition that stands out to you more than others that you enjoy doing?
Um, wow. You know, Yeah, our Christmas Day, we do everything pretty early, and then the entire rest of the day is for all of us to just like lay around and hang out. And I maybe everybody does that, but for us, it's a pretty specific tradition. We don't do anything on, after we open our presents.
Yeah.
And it's probably the most fun, afternoon, evening that you can imagine. I love it.
Oh gosh, that sounds good to me. That's how my wife and I are, and how it
Yeah.
is with my family. We do all the presents early, we eat early, and then the rest
Yep.
just kind of TV and movies, and then we go
Yeah.
from
What
there.
movies do you watch on Christmas?
Oh, that's a good one. I love Elf. Loved it since it came out in theaters, so that's always
Yeah.
a favorite. But as a family, though, we grew up on National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh
So
my gosh, I can't come to your house. Those are two movies that like my husband loves, and I'm always like, I'll be in the other room.
yeah, those
Yeah.
those are two just classics for me and the whole fam, especially National Lampoon's Christmas. Because my
Yeah.
dad, we call him the Puerto Rican Clark Griswold. He
Huh.
reminds me of him to a T.
Oh, that's great.
But before we wrap up here, and again, Shanti, thank you so much for joining us. What's next? Are you going to continue wearing a lot of these hats? Like, is directing in the future? Any upcoming projects?
Yeah, definitely want to continue wearing some hats for projects that I really love. You have to put so much into it when
Sure.
you wear these different hats, that it has to be something that it warrants that, I would say, that I feel that I'll be adding to, that I understand in a way that other people don't. And I
Mm,
think that's what will happen when I do think I'll direct eventually, a film, but it's going to have to be something that's like, this needs me. I'm the director for
right.
this, and I just feel it,
Yeah.
because it is such a big thing, directing, and then also I assume producing because it's something I do. That would be years of my life.
Yeah.
So maybe your daughter will write the script that grabs me.
Well, we'll see. That's for sure. That's for sure. I know she's excited. She's getting ready to move back here in about a month or so, and we all can't wait. So her mom and I co-parent very well, but there's been like a 3 hour time, well, not time difference, just 3 hour drive, and now it's like no more of that. We'll all be together again, and it'll be fantastic. But I know I can't wait to send this over to her. So she actually helps me out with the podcast as well. She does my film editing.
Oh,
She
how
joins me as a
fun.
co-host every now and again. She's at work right now, or she would have joined me today.
Oh,
Uh,
that would have been great.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate the time. Everybody out there, be sure to check out Persona streaming right now. Came out on December 3rd. I can't wait to check it out. Wife and I already have plans to watch it this weekend after we put up the Christmas tree. So,
Perfect holiday celebration with a little murder.
exactly. Suspense, murder, thrillers. That's what it's all about here in the Hernandez
Totally.
household. So, wishing you the best. Obviously, very happy holiday season, very successful 2025 and beyond. And we cannot wait to have you back on. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you, and happy holidays.
Thank you. You too. Great. Great.
Bye.
Good stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's been so much fun.
Thank you. I know you got a busy day. I know these press days are like back to back to back to back to back. So, again, thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll have you back on.
I would love it, Brian.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.